Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, no, our subject, no, or our course for today is about educational leadership. No? Very interesting, as I mentioned, no? Because educational leadership involves guiding and managing educational institution to achieve, no, their objectives effectively. Because it encompasses various concepts and theories that define the role of leaders in education. Educational leadership are responsible for fostering a positive learning environment, no? Implementing policies, and ensuring the holistic development of students and staff. No? So leadership in education requires vision, mission, strategic planning, operational plan, and the ability to inspire, no, and motivate others towards a common goal. So this course na actually introduces the fundamental principles highlighting the importance of leadership in achieving educational excellence. Now, what is leadership? No? Again, leadership in the educational setting is a multifaceted concept, no, that involves various styles, no, and theories. Transformational leadership focuses on inspiring and motivating individuals, no, to achieve a higher performance, no, while transactional leadership is based on structure and rewards. So different leadership styles such as democratic, no, autocratic, and laissez-faire, no, affect the decision-making process within our institution. So the principles of leadership emphasize always, no, integrity, no, vision, and communication skills, which are essential, no, for effective school management. So the five practices of exemplary leadership model provides a framework for leader to encourage a collaboration and innovation. One of your classmates, we're going to discuss about the duties and function of a school principal. No? So the role of a school principal encompasses administrative, managerial, and instructional responsibilities. So possibly, no, our presenter in this topic discuss about the RA 9155. No? The school heads are accountable for ensuring an effective governance, no, and delivery of quality education because as administrative managers, no, the principals oversees, no, school operations, no, manage resources, and ensure compliance with educational policies. And they are also responsible for fostering a positive school culture, supporting teachers and professors in engaging with the community to enhance the educational outcomes. Another topic, no, that we're going to discuss for the entire semester is about school leadership. Again, effective school leadership involves developing and communicating the institution's vision and mission in alignment with either DepEd, CHED, or test the goals. No? Strategic planning plays an important role in setting a long-term objectives and addressing challenges within the school system. No? Leaders must possess problem-solving skills to navigate a complex issues, no, and build a high-performance teams that work collaboratively to achieve organizational goals. Because again, it is important in implementing feedback mechanism and leading change in initiative are also a key components of successful school leadership. About instructional leadership, no? Instructional leadership focuses on improving teaching and learning process, no, within an institution. So, effective instructional leader assess learning outcomes, supervise curriculum implementation, and ensure that teaching practices always align with educational standard such as the K-12 curriculum, let's say CHED memorandum order for specific programs or courses, and it is characteristic and the characteristics of high-performing schools include strong leadership, a culture of continuous improvement, and a commitment to promoting a quality education. Principals Vice President for Academic Affairs, no? School Administrator o kung anumang terminologies ang ginagamit ng mga institusyon, they are play as a critical role in fostering an environment conducive to learning and professional growth. Another topic, no, that we're going to tackle within this semester is about creating a student-centered learning climate. No? Most commonly, no, applicable. Para naisip agad natin, it's only applicable for elementary or for DepEd programs. But of course, it is also applicable from elementary to college degree program. Okay? So a student learning-centered climate, no, prioritizes the needs, interests, and abilities of students. No? Child-friendly school promote, wait lang. Okay, sorry. Okay, so again, a student-centered learning climate prioritizes the needs, interest, no, and abilities of a students. No? So a child or student-friendly institution promote inclusivity, syempre dapat safety and engagement, ensuring that every student, no, feels valued, no, and supported. So, differentiated instruction allow our teachers to tailor their teaching methods, no, to accommodate diverse learning styles and abilities. So, creating such as climate requires, no, collaboration among educators, students, and parents to foster a positive and conducive learning environment. Another topic is about human resource management and professional development. Okay. So, effective human resource management in education involves recruitment, hiring, and continuous professional development of our faculty and staff. So, professional learning, no, uh, communicates and school learning action cell, no, sessions are of course vital, no, in fostering collaboration in knowledge, no, sharing among educators. So, assessing training needs helps identify areas for improvement and design targeted intervention. So, conducting effective meetings and motivating teachers to achieve peak performance now are essential skills for a school leaders. We have conflict management and crisis management at the same time. Our educational leaders, no, must be equipped the decision-making tools to address conflicts and crisis effectively. Managing teacher performance and resolving disputes made the school community are critical responsibilities of a school leader. No? So conflict management strategies such as mediation, negotiation help maintain a harmonious work environment. While crisis management plans ensure that your institution is prepared to handle emergencies and unexpected challenges. How about the parent involvement in community partnership? Parental involvement is critical, no, in enhancing our student success and school development. Because I believe, no, establishing a strong external community partnership allow our institution to leverage resources and support services that benefit our students. So the school governing council plays an important role in decision making and ensuring transparency and accountability in our school operations. So engaging our parents and the community foster a collaborative approach to education. How about the school management in operation? This topic focuses on how effective school management involves overseeing daily operations, ensuring efficient use of resources, and implementing policies, no, and procedures. So our institution leaders must possess strong organizational and administrative skills to manage budget, facilities, and personnel effectively. Operational efficiency is key to creating a conducive learning environment in achieving institutional goals. So school leaders are expected to uphold professionalism and adhere to ethical standard, which is too important, especially in the field of education, as outlined in our RA 6713. So looking forward that somebody who were assigned to discuss the personal and professional attributes in international effectiveness discussed about RA 6713, because an effective communication management, interpersonal sensitivity, no, and a commitment to fairness, honest, and integrity are fundamental attributes of successful leaders. Now, recognition and award systems serve as a motivational tools to encourage excellence and dedication among educators and staff. Hindi naman laging pera lang, ano? But of course, recognition and other awards serve as our motivational tools for our co-teachers, with our teachers, and with our administrative staff. Again, educational leadership refers to the process of guiding and managing educational institution to achieve their objectives and improve student learning outcomes. Do you have questions so far? So, again, educational leadership is a continuously evolving to meet the demands of a rapidly changing world, no? So whether we like it or not, ang bilis ng pacing ng natin, di ba? Sa Pilipinas. So what we're going to do is just, of course, we need to para makasabay tayo sa kung ano man ang mayroon today. Okay. So, the core elements, no? The core elements of educational leadership, because there are several core elements, no? Define educational leadership, no? Including the vision setting, as I mentioned earlier, no? Policy implementation, no? Resource management, community engagement, and instructional support. So our leaders, or you as a leader, must balance this element, no? To ensure that educational success while fostering an environment of trust, collaboration, and innovation. And you must also be adaptable to changing educational landscape, such as new technologies, no, and evolving pedagogical trends. No? The primary purpose, actually, no, of our educational leadership is to create and sustain a high-quality educational system that meets the needs of the students and society. So we as leaders work to improve our school performance and enhance what? Enhance our teacher effectiveness, no? And foster student success. No? And this requires them to set clear goals, inspire their teams, no, and continuously assess progress, no, to drive improvement and innovation. Maybe somebody were asking, do you have an idea how do you differentiate leadership versus management when it comes to education? Sige nga po. How do you differentiate leadership versus management in education? Volunteer. Meron po ba? Sa tingin natin, especially right now kung sino po nasa atin ngayon na nag-handle ng position, how do you differentiate leadership and management in education? Wala. Okay. Educational leadership and management are closely related naman po talaga. They serve different functions. How? So leadership focuses on inspiring and guiding individuals toward a vision. Again, leadership focuses on inspiring and guiding individuals towards a vision, whereas management deals, take note of it with organizing and overseeing resources to achieve a set of objectives. Effective educational leaders must balance both aspects to ensure that their institution function smoothly while also pursuing long-term goals. Kaya nga meron po tayo minsan na tinatawag sa ibang eskwelahan, BP for Operation, BP for Academic Affairs. Now, how about the theoretical foundation of educational leadership? Several theories underpin educational leadership. Sabi nga natin, transformational leadership. Sabi ko ako personally on my kapag inassess ko ang sarili ko para nasa transformational leadership ako. Pero magkakaiba kasi tayo ng way. Okay? Another is the instructional leadership and meron tayong servant leadership. Pero pwede naman combination of 2, 3 or both. Okay. Transformational leadership emphasizes motivating and inspiring our staff to exceed expectation, while instructional leadership focuses on improving teaching and learning processes, and servant leadership, on the other hand, highlights the leader's role in serving the needs of students and teachers to create an inclusive and supportive environment. But take note of this, pwedeng combination, pwedeng both of 3, or pwedeng 1 lang ina-apply. Depend again din po yan sa situation at sa inyong organization. Hindi lahat ng type of leadership pwede mong i-apply. Okay? It depends. Okay? Now, transformational, as what we discussed, is a widely recognized in education because it focuses on inspiring educators and students to achieve their full potential. Because transformational leaders create a compelling vision, foster innovation, and encourage collaboration among stakeholders. Hindi ba ito, kaya ko na ito, ako na lang lahat to. Hindi ganon. Okay? So, because transformational leaders focus on developing a positive school culture and nurturing future leaders within the institution. Actually, it's too hard when it comes to sa mga government agencies. Yung inaano natin na, okay, try natin to para ito ang ilalagay sa posisyon. Yung succession planning. Pero minsan di nangyayari, right? Lalo kung hindi school or kahit school yan. Pag nagpalit ng mayor, kung local government yan, pag nagpalit ng mayor, iba na yung BP, iba na yung president, mababago ang BP Pinas, mababago ang BP Operation, mababago si Dean, mababago, and so on. Kapag government. Sa private, hindi ganun kabilis ang pagpapalit ng posisyon. But in government agency, anytime, pag gusto ni President palitan ang mga tao sa kung ano ang posisyon, nangyayari yon. But if the President is a transformational leader, he may focus on developing a positive school culture and nurture a future leader within the institution. The instructional leadership, as what we discussed earlier, places emphasis naman po in curriculum development, teaching methodologies, and student learning outcomes. So instructional leaders work closely with teachers to provide guidance, support, and professional development of opportunities. And they also monitor student progress and ensure that educational standards are met, making them key drivers of academic excellence. So minsan kasi yung position instructional leadership, yun na rin ay position na rin transformational leadership. Yung mga multitasking na tinatawag natin, yun, kaya nangyayari ito. Kaya another is the ethical consideration in educational leadership. Sad to say, but it happens. Because we need to look into that educational leaders are expected to uphold the highest ethical standards, ensuring fairness, sana naman, transparency, and integrity in their decision-making processes. Ethical leadership must be or the ethical leadership foster trust and credibility within the school community. promoting a culture of respect. Sabi nga po nila, hindi nabibila respect na earn daw po yan. Inclusivity and accountability. So leaders must consider the well-being of students, teachers, and staff while making ethical choices that align with institutional values and goals. Yan po yung nagiging reason kung bakit iniiwasan yung magkapatid, mag-asawa sa isang agency, sa company, yung po mga ganon. Okay? So, the role of vision and mission in leadership. A well-defined vision and mission are essential components of effective leadership or effective educational leadership. Sige nga, anong kaibahan ni vision and mission? Volunteer. Ano si vision, ano si mission? Sige nga po, kailangan po ng participation. Student tayo ngayon. How do you understand vision and mission? Sige nga, sino may idea? Go ahead. Sino pa? Volunteer.
May plus points po ba, Doc?
Ha?
May plus points po ba?
Oo naman, syempre. Meron tayo ano eh.
Di ba? Try ko lang po, hindi ko po alam eh.
Sige, go ahead. Kung ano yung
So,
idea.
feeling ko po yung vision, yun yung nakikinita mong target in the future eh. Ganon.
Okay.
So, yung in relation with the mission naman, yun yung feeling mo eh, yung dapat mong gawin para makamit mo yung vision mo. Feeling ko lang
Oh,
po, ganun yung ano.
okay. That is correct naman po. Pag sinabi na, kaya dapat ang vision dapat merong hangganan. No? Kaya dapat by 2026 or by 2030, let's say yung institution ninyo ay isa ng Center of Excellence institution. Ibig sabihin, yung mga offered programs, naka Center of Excellence na kung yan ay may offered CHED programs. At para natin marating yung ating vision at matupad yung ating vision, yun ang ginagawa natin sa ating mission. Tama naman si Sir. Okay? So again, vision statement defines the long-term aspiration and future goals as what our as one of our colleagues mentioned earlier. So it provides an inspirational, forward-looking perspective on what the organization or institution aims to achieve in the future. So the vision is designed to motivate the unified stakeholders towards a common goal. And the vision and the mission or the mission statement must outline the organization's core purposes, its reason for existence, and how it serves its stakeholders. So it focuses on the present and describe what the organization does, whom it serves, and how it operates to fulfill its mission, its vision, and objectives. Now, so in vision statement, it focuses on the future. Again, that's what I mentioned. Typically outlining where the organization wants to be in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or even 20 years. It serves as a guiding light for a long-term strategic planning. On the other hand, mission statement focuses on present, providing a clear understanding of the organization's immediate goals, functions, in a day-to-day operations to achieve its objective. When it comes to focus, vision statement, it is a broader in scope and more abstract. Concentrating on the ultimate aspiration and long-term impact of the organization. So it answered the question, where do we want to be? Yun ang scope ng vision. Mission naman po, a narrower in scope and more specific. Focusing on operational goals, values, and actions required to fulfill the vision. So it answers the question, what do we do and how do we do it? Okay? Now, when it comes to inspirational and practical, vision open aspirational and is inspirational, aiming to energize and motivate stakeholder by painting a picture of an ideal future. Now, Sa mission naman, it is more practical, no, and action-oriented, providing a clear roadmap for employees, students, and stakeholders to understand your roles and responsibilities. No? So, the impact, no, on organizational culture, syempre kapag may vision statement tayo, it shapes the overall culture, no, as and aspirations of the institution. So encouraging long-term strategic planning and goal setting. In mission, pag sinabi nating impact of organizational culture, directly impacts, no, a day-to-day decision making, operations and activities to ensure the organization remains aligned with its core purpose, no? So, for revision frequency, kasi kailan po ba nagre-revise ng vision, kailan nagre-revise ng mission? Less frequently revise ang vision because it reflects our long-term aspirations that typically remain stable over time. On the other hand, mission may be revised periodically or even either yearly to reflect changes in strategies, policies, and evolving priorities of the organization. So therefore, the vision statement set the future direction and goals, serving as an inspiration for what the organization aspires to become. And the mission statement defines present focus and operational strategies, clarifying what the organization does and how it achieves, no, its goals. Both statements are critical in aligning stakeholders and guiding the strategic planning process of the institution. So ganun po ang kaibahan ng vision and mission statement. Okay? Now, how about the challenges, no, faced by educational leaders? Educational leaders encounter numerous challenges such as managing limited resources. Napakahirap niyan, ano, kapag limited yung resources. Sabi natin mag-scout tayo, hanap tayo sponsorship, but still, very challenging. No? Adapting to changing educational policies. Kasi pabago-bago. Lalo kung government, iba ang DepEd Secretary, iba naman yung bagong panatutupad. Ganon din sa state universities and colleges. No? So, and another is addressing diverse student needs and integrating new challenges into teaching and learning because they must also handle issues related to teachers' retention, student performance, and parental involvement while maintaining a focus on continuous improvement. One of the key responsibilities of educational leaders is implementing educational policies at the institutional level. Hindi tayo nagkakaroon na nagkakaroon lagi tayo ng mga hindi pagkakaunawaan dito. Pagdating sa implementation ng mga educational policies sa ating mga nasasakupan, no? Because tayo kasi as a school leader must ensure that our policies related to curriculum standards, assessment practices, and student welfare are effectively translated into actionable strategies. No? We as leader must balance policy compliance with the unique needs and context of their institution. Kaya hindi pwedeng, let's say, ganito yung strategy mo, ganito yung leadership style mo sa isang institution. Pag nalipat ka, the same, you need to evaluate or to reassess the type of employees they have and what programs are offered in this institution. Magkakaiba po yan. Okay? Kailangan maging maingat tayo. Now, these leadership styles has an implication or impact, no, in the institution or education because different leadership styles influence school culture and student outcomes in various ways. Ano ba sinasabi natin dyan? Ikaw ba ay authoritative leadership? No? When we say authoritative leadership, it can establish a clear expectation and improve discipline, while participative leadership focuses collaboration and innovation. Adaptive leadership, which blends various style based on situational demands, as I mentioned earlier. You need to look into its situation. There is a situational demand. It is increasingly seen as an effective approach in the dynamic educational landscape. Continuous professional development is essential for educational leaders. And congratulations to all of you since you are eyeing to accomplish your master's degree in education. Because we need to stay informed about emerging trends, policies, and best practices for us to share and apply in our respective position. Tama po ba? Training programs, workshop, mentorship, and networking opportunities provide leaders with the skills and knowledge needed to address contemporary challenges and foster a culture of lifelong learning. Ethical leadership is a foundational to building trust, no, and credibility in educational institution. Now, leaders must uphold principles, syempre, of integrity, fairness, transparency, and accountability. Ethical decision-making involves prioritizing the best interests of students, ensuring equity, and maintaining professional conduct in all interaction. Whether you like it or not, impact of technology educational leadership is also a big challenge. So because the integration of technology has transformed educational leadership by enhancing communication, streamlining administrative tasks, and enable a data-driven decision-making system. No? Leaders must embrace digital tools such as learning management system, data analytics, and virtual collaboration platforms to optimize our institutional performance and support innovative teaching methods. Now, building a collaborative school culture. Kasi talaga naman pagdating, let's say ikaw, bago ka doon sa institution as president or kaya naman as school administrator, pagdating mo may culture na doon sa eskwelahan. Now, an essential aspect of educational leadership is creating a culture of collaboration and teamwork. Swerte mo pag dinat mo, ganon. No? So through involving teachers, students, and parents in decision-making processes, leaders can foster a sense of ownership and collective responsibility. Collaboration enhances problem-solving innovations and overall effectiveness of the institution. Sabi ko nga kanina, no, there is certain leadership in crisis and change management because educational leaders must be prepared to manage crises such as natural disasters na hindi naasahan, di ba? Pandemics, katulad ng pandemics, at syempre ang pinakamahalaga yung financial challenges. Effective crisis leadership requires planning, quick decision-making, and effective communication to ensure the safety and well-being of all stakeholders. So leading change initiative also involves addressing resistance and ensuring a smooth transition during reform. So, therefore, educational leadership, again, is a continuously evolving to meet the demands of a rapidly changing world. So we as leaders must remain adaptable, dapat visionary, and we are all must committed to fostering an inclusive, equitable, and high quality education system. I believe if we are going to embrace innovation, ethical practices, and collaborative approaches, our educational leaders can drive a meaningful change and positively impact the lives of our students and at the same time, our communities. Okay?